Because, of course, everything has to go wrong. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and today we are here with Season 2, Episode 5 of Invincible. And yeah, everything has been going wrong. Everything has just escalated. And with 8 episodes in the season, last episode was kind of like a midpoint, so it makes sense. But it's going wrong in different ways too. Except for Debbie. Debbie's actually doing very well. Good for her. But Mark reunites with his father and finds out that he's been, you know, living amongst this race of these bug people. I can't remember what they're called right now. But he's been living amongst them. He has had a child with one of them and is just generally speaking happy. He's found actual happiness. He's found, the kind of peace and joy and hopefulness that he should have had before. However, due to the fact that he abandoned his mission that the Viltrumites sent him on, and due to the fact, especially now that he, bred with a race that the Viltrumite Empire sees as inferior, because they're not standard humanoid and everything, he knows that the entire planet is in danger from a Viltrumite invasion. That's why he's called Mark. And they managed to fight off a bunch of the Viltrumites, but things end up going wrong. One of them that they think is dead already ends up coming back and, calling reinforcements and taking them out before actually dying. And it goes poorly. Nolan is taken as a prisoner, and Mark has his father's job and everything forced on him, under threat that the Earth is going to be invaded one way or the other anyway. So might as well make it more peaceful of an invasion, basically. Prepare the planet for the invasion rather than basically just end up letting thousands, if not millions, of people needlessly die, is the idea. Meanwhile, Eve is just going through shit. Eve is trying to do her best, outside of standard hero work. She's not trying to be like a standard typical hero where it's like, oh, you go about and do all this great hero work and everything. She's just doing basically community service stuff. And one of those things she did, as we know, was to try and fix up this neighborhood and make it more presentable, make it like a little play area for kids. But she didn't know it was unstable, and luckily no one was hurt, but it could have caused a lot of problems. This kind of freaks her out and puts her into this spiral where she's just not doing well. She has that on her mind. The idea that she caused a little bit more harm than good. And or could have caused more harm than good. And it starts affecting other stuff she's trying to do. Like, we even see her trying to save people on a bridge, but it almost goes very, very wrong. And while she does manage to save them, during this fight with the laser cannon guy, don't remember his name either, but she accidentally does something that puts some people in danger, and she does get them to safety, but again, it freaks her out. It kind of traumatizes her to a degree. And because of all this, she decides to go home, kind of broken and defeated, choosing to go back to her parents because she's kind of been led to believe that they were right, or more specifically that her father was right. And she's just, again, broken. She just doesn't have any faith in herself left. And the thing is, it's not actually that her father is right, because her father's fucking wrong. Like, it's not even close. The issue is that she's the way she's going about things is wrong. And that has nothing to do with what her father's bullshitting about. She just needs a different perspective. She needs to be able to find a different way to handle things. And that's difficult. That's hard. Because this was already kind of a coping mechanism, I guess, for that. She already just chose to leave behind standard hero work because of everything that happened before. And so this was already her way of getting past that. But now that's getting fucked up and everything. So, yeah. A lot of crazy bullshit. I can't think of his name at the. I'm bad with names sometimes. The assistant, Cecil's assistant. He realizes he's some kind of like robotic or cybernetic clone, and so he's going through some shit too. It's just a lot of things going down, and we're barely even touching on who I thought was supposed to be our main villain of the season. I guess probably not. I'm guessing our main villain of the season is actually the Viltrumites. But then what's the deal with oh my god, why am I having such a hard time remembering names right now? Sterling K. Brown's character. For some reason, like, I'm just really, really having a hard time right now at remembering names. But it kind of led us to believe he was going to be the main villain, and then he's just barely in this season. In the first 4 episodes, he's like appeared twice, I think. And it's just like, okay. Like, they're not even building up and setting up for him. He's just kind of there. He exists. But he's not really the main villain. The Viltrumites are absolutely more set up. Like, they have a lot bigger of a antagonistic role towards this season, towards the story already. It's just, it's wild because it kind of pulled a bait and switch on us, I feel. But I'm interested to see where that all goes. Because obviously we're going to get follow-up with him still. We're still going to follow that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know to exactly what degree. But let's, I guess, maybe find out if he even appears in this episode. So let us see what happens and hope for the best. Hold up just a second there. Before you click that link down in the description below to go to today's reaction, I just wanted to take this moment real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about all the awesome gaming content over on the Princess of Gaming channel. Every single day of the week, we have some awesome Let's Plays for you. A bunch of different things to check out, and more coming in the future. And don't forget to click that subscribe button or like the video if you really enjoy the content I'm putting out. There will be more to come in the future. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get this going. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. You know how people on the internet will often say, like, really fucking stupid, and kind of just fucked up shit? Like, oh, why did, this celebrity have to die? We'll trade you this other celebrity if you'll bring this one back. It's like, this is stuff that I've heard, like, all throughout the years, like, when David Bowie died, for example. People said, like, oh, we'll trade you Justin Bieber. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't like Justin Bieber that much myself, but don't say, like, horrific shit like that. That is so fucked up. But you know how people say that? This episode kind of reminded me of that because it's like, we got Alan back, but we lost Duplicate and Shrinking Ray. And Kate, I understand. Like, Kate was just like, she tried to clone again, and then both were just smashed together. It's like, I get that. I get how that worked. How did that work with Ray though? Because she was inside the big dude's body, right? He ate her, and then she was growing inside of him, and that should have been it. That should have been like lights out for him. How was he able to just muscle his way into killing her while she was inside him? Like it made it sound like he like broke her, I don't know, spine or neck or something. How does that work? Like I'm sorry, it's just like I know like they're like weird lizard hybrid people or whatever, but there's just some things that it's just like I don't know about that. That seems a little iffy to me. I don't know. But that means we're down two members of the Guardians. Rex lost his hand. So it's like. And we didn't even see the end of that because it's like King Lizard was about to shoot him in the head. And it's like it just kind of cut away. So we don't even know where that's going. I assume he's going to be saved, right? But then again, maybe not. Because we had that big moment with him talking to Eve and actually showing, fucking maturity for once. Actually showing character growth for once. And it's like, maybe that was like a death flag kind of like in disguise, I guess. Because usually a lot of death flags are a lot more obvious than that. But maybe that was just a very subtle death flag. It's possible. Um, that would be wild, though, if all of the Guardians on Earth ended up dying. I mean, I know we got some new members and stuff, but still. Like, Kate's been there since the beginning, right? Ray came in at the same time as Monster Girl. With, like, the new breed, you could say. And well, oh my goodness. Sorry, my neck is just, like, weirdly achy lately. Happened around the same time as the cold. You may have noticed during the reaction, I've like stretching my jaw as well, like doing like stuff like that. I was cracking my jaw, and it's like I don't know why. It just I felt achy since I got the cold that I've had, and I'm on the healing end of the cold. Like my sinuses are clearing up a bit. The scratchy throat is pretty much gone, so I'm doing a lot better. But it's just it. I don't know why, but it's led to some like muscle aches, I guess. Um. But yeah. Anyway, back with what I was saying before I got distracted by all that. Um. It's just. It's just a wild episode in terms of the sudden losses and the sudden revival of Alan. And then we find out this dude, like, he admits to being a Viltrumite, but he claims he's a rogue Viltrumite. The only rogue Viltrumite. Outside of, Mark. But does Mark really count? I would say Nolan would count more. Either way, this guy's claiming to still be against the Viltrumite Empire. I don't trust him. I don't believe him. I don't think he's someone we can really side with here. I think he's luring Mark into a trap. And I think he kept Alan alive to enact this. Though he was also honest about turning off the life support. So I don't know. I don't know. It's wild. Um, we got to see, like, at the beginning, Mark staying for a couple months with the bugs and seeing how they age and everything. And yeah, it's crazy to think about. We're probably not going to see them again, at least the ones we know. So that's pretty crazy. We brought back the Martian plot line, and Shapesmith admitted to everything and has been being honest. Though sometimes he could have been honest a little quicker, but yeah, it's led to a pretty crazy situation with their group on the ship, kind of being surrounded because Eve couldn't hold things out too much longer. Robot Rudy is trying to set forth a blast that'll knock him out for a time. But yeah, it's difficult. It's a really difficult situation considering everything. And on top of that, we have like Donald confronting Cecil, finding out he's a cyborg who has pretty much no physical parts of his body left outside of like his brain and whatnot. So that's fun. And also they kind of wiped his memories from that event so that he wouldn't know what was going on because they wanted to curb his possible trauma and PTSD and all. And let's talk about that because I've brought this up before and everything. Cecil is an interesting character in this series because he's not a bad guy, but he's willing, like strongly willing to do bad things. And he has this attitude of the greater good. He has this greater good mentality to where it's like, oh, if this helps out Earth in the long run, that's all that's important. But he also has this mentality of, I'm the person who determines what's good for Earth and what's good for the people and everything. He has this almost soul, like, viewpoint, solitary viewpoint of what is actually good and everything. And unfortunately, a lot of the times he's wrong. A lot of the times he's wrong and is just a problem. And I'm very, very curious to see if anything's going to come from that. Also, dog may start barking again. Male person's here. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I guess she's really asleep right now. But I'm willing to see. I'm interested to see what comes of that because I feel like he's going to. He's starting already, but I feel like he's going to go way too far at some point. To the point where it's going to start turning the heroes and everyone against him. I could even full up see him becoming a villain. And again, I believe his intent is good. I believe he is trying to protect the Earth and the people within it. But his mentality about everything and his like solitary view that like he knows what's best for everyone is not good. It kind of reads ironically similarly to Eve's dad, who has this kind of I'm older, I know better than you mentality. It kind of reads similarly to that, obviously with just different circumstances. We also see Amber in this and see how she's dealing with Mark having to go off again. And she's clearly upset about it, and that's fair. Because she wants this relationship to work, and she even said it's like she knew what she was getting into. She understands that there's a lot that he has to do as a hero, but she also wants him there for her. And so it's okay to be frustrated by him going off again, especially after having been away for 2 months in the first place. I don't blame her for a second. And yet, I bet there's so many people out there who, when this season first came out, like, were attacking her for this. Because people like to unfairly attack Amber. They did so when season one came out, and they treated her like she was a villain or something. She was, I think she was the most hated character by the fandom. And it was stupid. It made no sense to me. Everyone's, like, arguments and everything saying, like, how she was selfish over her, over the way she, like, not necessarily treated Mark, but the way she handled Mark's heroism, and the way he was, like, hiding it and everything. But she was completely in the right. It's like, what? It just, it never made sense to me back in season one. And I'm sure people, again, like, were attacking her character in this season for this. She has every right to be upset by this. And I'm not even saying that Mark is in the wrong. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying Mark is in the wrong either, because he's doing what he knows is right. But she has every right to be dissatisfied. She wants a relationship, and she's not getting enough of that. And that's fair. Like, she does not have to just let this be. She does not have to just accept that this is the way things are. She has every right to get upset with the fact that the person who's her boyfriend is not spending time with her for months and months at a time. That's reasonable. It's ridiculous. Um and we brought up the book thing with Nolan's books and everything, but we didn't get any follow up on that yet. We got nothing with Sterling K. Brown's character. Again, can't remember his name right now, but we got nothing with him in this episode. Not really a surprise. He's barely been a character. Almost, I mean, not even almost. It's an absolute waste of Sterling K. Brown. I don't know if they just couldn't afford to have him in more episodes. Like, maybe he was asking for a lot. I don't know. I don't know if this is just how it is in the original comics. But if it was, they definitely should have changed it. Because it's a waste. His character feels like he's nothing. Like he doesn't matter. Yet the first episode made it seem like he was going to be the big bad of the season. Made it seem like he was going to be really important. And I think he's been in less of this than the Maulers were in season one. Hell, honestly, I think the Maulers have had more of a role in this season than he has. When the season starts off with this multiversal stuff, and it's all about introducing his character and bringing him into play, and then you just don't do anything with that, it's really disappointing. It feels like a waste of time, and it feels like poor setup. If they were just going to have it focus on, the Viltrumite stuff, why not have that be the setup? Why not have the stuff with Alan and the council be the opening scene of episode one? Instead of this random bullshit with Sterling K. Brown that apparently doesn't mean anything. That's my biggest issue with this season. Like, if I'm being honest, that is the one big issue I'm having with this season. That they are just not handling that properly. I understand there's quite a few plot points to go through here. There's things that are, coming around from season 1, setups that were already there. But it just feels like if you wanted to focus on most of that, then just focus on that. Don't add in all these other plot lines that aren't going to go anywhere. Because if this is resolved by the end of this season, there's 3 more episodes. If this is resolved by the end of the season, without having notable amounts of screen time for this within these next 3 episodes, it's going to be one of the most disappointingly written things I think I've seen in superhero media in a long time. It'll be an absolute waste of time, an absolute waste of Sterling K. Brown, and just it won't be good. Now, if they start to really ramp up the screen time for his character in these next 3 episodes, then that's a completely different story. Maybe even explain why he hasn't been very, active, or why he hasn't been seen. If they can do that, cool. But as it is right now, I'm honestly very disappointed. And by the way, I always make this clear, but I want to make it especially clear right now. No spoilers. I know this season's been out for a while. I've avoided mostly all spoilers for it, and I want to continue to avoid spoilers for it. So do not tell me anything that's going to be happening in it. Do not spoil anything for me. I want to remain blind, continuing forward for the last 3 episodes of this season and into next season when we eventually get to that. But yeah. Because I'm probably going to end up doing the next season too. So, yeah. We'll see how these last 3 episodes go, how things start to wrap up, and what kind of setup they do for the next season. But I am very concerned, specifically regarding that plot line. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So, let me know your thoughts down below. Just, once again, no spoilers. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.